Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening for the final race of the round of 12 in the Outcast Racing League. The Outcast Racing League back in action here this evening as drivers out there on the racetrack. It is the tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway. Home here for that final race of the round of 12. That means drivers will have one more opportunity to try to put themselves into our Championship 8 next week. So drivers are going to have to be on top of their game. They're going to have to make sure that they can make the right moves to put themselves here into the next round of the playoffs. Corey Crowell out there rolling on the speedway as he rolls here in that number 20 ride. Turn the cars up a little bit. They seem a little quiet. There we go. I'll get that a little bit louder there so you guys can hear these motors roar just a little bit more. As we ride on board here with Corey Crowell, he's headed down the Long Pond straightaway here into corner number 2. Now this is a very tricky corner, but he's not going to get there as qualifying will come to a close as looks like David Durand Jr. with the quick time here in qualifying. A great lap there for the 51 as he is going to put himself into the pole position here at Pocono Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here for another amazing night of racing action. James Garland, James coming in with that heart reaction on the broadcast. How are you, James? James coming in, showing the love here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are also interested over on Twitch, right now our Twitch channel as we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, but over on Twitch, brand new Twitch drops just came out here over the last couple days. If you want to earn yourself 3 months of Apple TV for virtually nothing, all you gotta do is go to our Twitch channel, become a subscriber, resubscribe, or gift a subscription, and you can earn yourself 3 months of Apple TV. That's like $45 worth of savings. You know, you got to jump on top of that. Go over to the Twitch channel. Make sure you guys hit that follow button there, and make sure you guys become part of the Peacemaker family, part of the Peacemaker Sub Club over on the Twitch channel today, and earn yourself that 3 months of Apple TV. As Anne-Marie Davis coming in with the heart reaction, CJ Jeffries with that share on the broadcast, we will get ready to rock and roll. As DC Cameron says, go 24, cheered on the 24 ride here this evening of Jameson Heath. As we'll get these drivers loaded into the simulator and ready to rock and roll. They'll get loaded in down pit side is starting on the pole in the number 51 ride. That is David Durand Jr. starting here in that pole position. To his outside, the 99 ride, that is Chris Muse. Starting in position number 3 in the Williamsburg Contracting Shenko Custom Diecast 00, it's Cole Manage. Starting in position number 4 and looking for more, it's the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders. Right there behind him, the JRC Race Cars, the Shenko Custom Diecast 19 ride, that's CJ Jeffries. Lance Brantlinger will start in the 6th position. He'll have Adolfo Castillo just a little bit back there behind him as he'll start in the inside a row number 4 for the Little Caesars number 31. To his outside, he will have the Lawrence Tech number 70 of Mike Gillingbeck there in position number 8. And then we see Kurt Sponsler and Wayne Garland bringing up row number 10 here on the evening. Corey Crowell in the Midwest Sim Sports number 20 ride will start in the 11th position. He's got the Mountain Dew 24 of Jamison Heath starting there to his outside. And then we see the 3 ride of Al Reed will start down in 14th or 13th position. He'll have James Garland Poohboy there to his outside starting in that 14th spot. Chad Lancaster in the Land in CNSB 02 ride there in the 15th spot. We'll have Anthony Garland to his outside. Gary Wright bringing up the rear of the field. Here's the 16 ride. We'll start back in 17th. We were supposed to have 18 drivers take the green flag, but it looks like Chad Ragsdale missing the start of this one. So Ragsdale unfortunately missing the call here. He'll have to start from either down pit side or late in this race as we'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. The pace car will make that hard left-hand turn down pit side as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. Quickly, David Duran Jr. onto the loud pedal, leading us down the front straightaway into corner number 1. He's gonna jump up and block the outside lane from Chris Muse. This will open up the bottom lane though for Colton Manage as he's already trying to peek his nose underneath the 51. But a good drive off of corner number 1 for the 51, and he will lead us down the long pond back straight away here, and he will take us down into the tunnel turn here in corner number 2. That's where the pit road entry is, right underground, right underneath of that second corner, and it makes for a very tricky corner right there as things can get very loose, a little bit bumpy down there. Luckily enough, drivers able to keep themselves out of trouble and keep themselves rolling, pointed in the right direction. As David Duran Jr. out of corner number 3, as there is no corner number 4 here at the tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway, and he'll lead lap number 1 in the final race of the round of 12 here with the Outcast Racing League. So Duran Jr. leads the way. Colton Manage sticking right there with him, continuing to take a look underneath that 51 ride, looking for a big run. If he can get right there to that left rear quarter panel on corner exit, he might be able to side draft with that 51 right into the next corner, but he needs a big run on corner exit. As Chris Muse hanging on there in third, we see CJ Jeffries up into position number 4 and looking for more. Johnny Thunders with his best start here of the season, I would say, for that 60 ride, as Thunders finds himself here inside the top 5. A beautiful looking Peacemaker Gaming Shenko Custom Diecast Elite Sim Racing number 60 of Mr. Thunders there in 5th. Lance Brantlinger back in that 6th position with Mike Gillingbeck back in 7th. Adolfo Castillo there in 8th with Wayne Garland and Kurt Sponsler rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Anthony Garland there in 11th has Jamison Heath and Chad Lancaster right there behind him as Al Reed, Corey Crowell round out our top 15. Poolboy James Garland back there in the 16th spot with Gary Wright right there behind him, and unfortunately still no Chad Ragsdale out on the racetrack, so a heartbreaker there for Ragsdale, as I'm sure he'd love to jump out here onto the racetrack, run some laps, and see if he can try to maybe work himself back onto the lead lap. But every single lap that he stays down there is going to get tougher and tougher for him, as we may not see a whole lot of caution flags here this evening. And with only 90 laps of racing action, things can end in a quick hurry. Yo, Charles, my boy Charles coming in, showing the love. How are you? How are you doing today, Charles? Charles coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast. I appreciate you, brother, coming in, showing the love here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, make sure you guys do exactly what Charles just did. It's absolutely free to do. Hit the like button, drop a comment, hit that share button, and make sure you become a part of the Peacemaker family. Hit that follow button, hit that heckin' subscribe button if you're watching over on YouTube, and make sure you turn those live notifications on. That way you never miss any of the racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. It's out in front. Still Leading the way, the Coca-Cola 51 rider David Duran Jr. He's been picture perfect already in this race, but Goldman's been able to stay right there with them, not letting that 51 ride run away with this one. Eric, my boy Eric, coming in with the heart reaction, says, hey Aaron, hey, how are you, Eric? How are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here this evening. How you doing tonight, brother? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday as Colton managed there in second. Chris Muse right there in that third spot, but here comes Lance Brantlinger. Brantlinger slowly but surely working himself towards the front of the field here. Already up a couple spots, but he's got some tough competition right there in front of him that he's got to try to work himself through. CJ Jeffries back there in fifth with Killing back there in sixth. Johnny Thunders down a few spots to start this race as he tries to hang on to that 60 ride. He's going to wash up the racetrack here in corner number 3. That'll allow the Little Caesars, number 31 of Adolfo Castillo, to get around it. Back there in the 9th spot right now, our hard charger on the racetrack. The 81 of Anthony Garland finds himself back here in position number 9 on the racetrack, trying to get rocking and rolling here as he's got Kurt Sponsler right down to his inside. Jamison Heath and Lancaster all right there as well. As 3 of these drivers are up and in our driver webcams here, we'll take a look here at all of our drivers that are part of the webcams here this evening. You can see 3 of them that'll pop up here on the screen in just a few seconds. There you go. So we do see all these drivers. We see 3 of them right here. Kurt Sponsler in that gray t-shirt down the bottom left side. We see Anthony Garland. He's the one with all of the diecast race cars in all of the green wall there. He's right above Kurt Sponsler, and right above him is that 02 ride. That is Chad Lancaster's. We see drivers head down pit side here, so take a good look here at Lancaster in that 02 machine as he rolls down the pit side here. Same with Anthony Garland. So tough break here for 2 tough competitors out there on the racetrack as they come down pit side. See if they get some service done to these cars. Looks like, yeah, there we go. Jacked up. Only fuel only there for the 81 ride, but looks like some tires for the 02 of Lancaster. He's going to get an extra set there. So 4 tires going on to the 02 ride. He'll roll back out onto the racetrack as you get a great look right there at that 02 and what he's doing behind the wheel here. See the gloves on. You see him focused up. He's just rolling down the racetrack as right now our race leaders are rolling around him, and unfortunately going to put that 02 ride possibly a lap down here on the racetrack. So he's going to have to keep his focus here in this run and hope to see a caution flag before the end of this stage as see him rolling out there on the racetrack, getting ready to rock and roll down into corner number 2. A great look right there at that 02 ride. We'll go through the rest of the drivers here throughout the evening as we got a lot of fast cats and a lot of drivers up in our webcams here. We'll get a good look at each and every one of them rolling out there on the speedway throughout this race. As Eric, my boy Eric, coming in with that share as well on the broadcast. I appreciate you, Eric, coming in smashing that share button as well as we take a look here at our race leader, still the 51 of David Duran Jr. Duran continues to lead the way, continues to show these drivers how to get it done here at Pocono Raceway. As right there behind him, the 00 Colton Manage trying to stick right there to his back bumper as they go nose to tail down into corner number 1. Muse right there ready to pounce as well. Muse, our regular season champion, rolling in that 99 ride. He's trying to keep himself up here at the front of the field, looking to just punch his ticket into the next round of the Outcast Racing League playoffs. He wants to be in contention in our final 8, our championship race next Sunday. And all he's got to do is just kind of finish off a good run, a solid performance here, and just not giving up too many points out there on the racetrack, and he should easily be able to lock himself in to that championship race. And out in front, David Duran Jr. leads the way. Cool Manage, Chris Muse, Lance Brantlinger, Mike Killingbeck make up our top 5 out here on the racetrack. As Cameron says, go 24, keep moving forward. He is slowly but surely working himself closer and closer to the front of the field as the 24 ride. Going to take a look right down low there on Kurt Sponsler. They're battling here for that 8th position on the racetrack as See Adolfo Castillo, he's moving up through the field here a little bit as well. The 31 ride up into position number 6 here. He's tracked down the 70 rider Mike Killingbeck, as Killingbeck is slid away here from our top 4 drivers, as they got a big gap now between themselves and the rest of the field. Almost 3 seconds between Killingbeck here and Brantlinger, our 4th place driver on the racetrack. So a 4-car pack here at the front of the field at the beautiful Pocono Raceway. But you see that little bit of a side draft. The 00 Colton Manich getting a run down this front straightaway. Will he have enough to make the move and take this race lead away? Managed down low, looking for a good drive here out of quarter number 1. Unfortunately, just could not clear that 51 right. They're going to go door to door again. Some side drafting here down into quarter number 2. He's got the door open, but can he take advantage of it? He needs to jump up here and make that move and clear that 51, and there it is. Down through quarter number 2, Manich will make that move. He will jump to the front of the field. He's going to lead this race, and we get a new race leader here on the evening. But can we see David Duran Jr. mount to challenge back, trying to get back around that 00 run. He gets a great run here down the front straightaway, but Colton Manich will lead that lap. So Manich out in front there for just the lap, able to take advantage of some good moves and some good runs, and puts himself to the lead. But now he's still got David Duran Jr. to have to deal with. This Duran now going to work to the inside of that 00 as we see a great race here at the front of the field, and slowly but surely see that 99 ride. Chris Muse ready to jump up and make some moves here himself, but he'll settle in third. Oh, some contact right there. Woo! That one got a little too close for comfort for the 51 ride of David Duran Jr. as him and Chris Muse make a little contact here on quarter entry. And this had that 51 ride all bent out of shape here right there. Oh, man, he could have easily went around. That is a tough spot to get a glove tap from, and he almost went for a ride. Woo, had to catch it. Good piece of driving right there for that Coca-Cola number 51. See if we can jump right on board here with them and see those hands as there's that contact. Yeah, just great little counter steer, great recovery, and able to keep that car pointing in the right direction. Great piece of driving right there for David Duran Jr. and keeping his race in hopes alive here as right there you see our race leaders heading around the 02 ride. That is Chad Lancaster, unfortunately going a lap down as the Land NC NSB number 02 ride. The Syndicate Racing Machine, unfortunately, going a lap down here on the speedway. Came down pit side. Now we do have to wait and worry if other drivers will have to make green flag pit stops as well. We saw Anthony Garland make a gas-only pit stop at the exact same time as the 02 of Lancaster. I'm not sure if that was possibly a mistake out of that 02 ride or what may have happened. We see Wayne Garland back here with Anthony Garland. We do see Al Reed heading down pit side. We saw Adolfo Castillo also down pit road in the Little Caesars number 31 ride. So drivers headed down pit side here before the end of this first stage is out in front. The 0-0 of Colton Manich continues to lead the way. As Manich is out in front, we're looking for lap number 20 here. Lap number 20 is the end of stage number 1. Lap number 40 is the end of stage number 2. And now those are all such very important points here for these drivers that are trying to work themselves into the next round of the playoffs. They want to be here next week. They want to have the opportunity to race in our Championship 8 next Sunday. So they got to keep themselves up here towards the front of the field and hope to stay, on the lead lap, not running into any issues here. Get those stage points, not run out of fuel, and then be there at the end of this race to try to lock themselves in to that next round. To see this battle at the front of the field, they're trying to put the 37 right on James Garland a lap down here. James trying to hold on to it as Pool Boy trying to stay on the lead lap in these closing laps. With that, opened up the door for the 51 of David Duran Jr. to put himself back to the front of the field. So David Duran Jr. out in front here once again at Pocono Raceway. As you see the 37 get a piece of the outside wall there, the coast-to-coast 37 rider Pool Boy unfortunately sliding back there as he's got David Duran Jr., Colton Maynard, Chris Hughes right there in front of him. They've all worked themselves around him, and you can't count out Lance Brantlinger as well as Brantlinger right there in position number 4 and looking for more. Shout out to Monster, keeping us hydrated here on the evening. Brantlinger there in 4th, a big gap, 4.5 seconds back to Killingbeck here in that 5th position. Jameson Heath up into 6th as Kurt Sponsler there in 7th. CJ Jeffries back in the 8th position with Corey Crowell and Johnny Thunders rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Now these drivers trying to work themselves maybe into some stage points here as stage number 1 is quickly coming to a close here. Lap 17 up onto the board. Yo, Randy Robert coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Randy? Randy coming in with that like on the stream. And my boy, Matthew Glenn. Mr. Glenn coming in, showing the love as well. How are you, Matthew? Matthew coming in, showing the big love. Smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love here this evening as Crystal Jeffries also coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. How are you, Crystal? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday here, and hopefully everyone's enjoying the amazing action here with the Outcast Racing League is out in front. The 51 ride continues to lead the way. So down through corner number 3, we will see them head down pit side here before pit road closes. So drivers headed down pit side, they got to be careful here. On pit road speed, that was a close one. Both drivers came in very hot as David Durant Jr. and Chris Muse both head down pit side. We'll see Jameson Heath in the Mountain Dew machine head down pit road as well. So some drivers electing to stay out a little longer. Other drivers coming down pit road now as this will shake up the front of the field here for our restart after the stage, but that will give the 00 Colton Manich a pretty sizable lead now between himself and that number 8 of Lance Brantlinger. Mike Killingbeck back there in 3rd. Kurt Sponsler now up into 4th. CJ Jeffries there in 5th as Corey Crowell, Johnny Thunders, David Duran Jr., Chris Muse, and Adolfo Castillo round out our top 10 here on the racetrack. As now you see our race leaders head down pit side. Colton Manich, Lance Brantlinger both down pit road here. That will give the lead now to the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck as Killingbeck looking to maybe pick up this stage win, maybe earn himself the maximum stage points here in stage number 1. Sponsler back there in position number 2 is CJ Jeffries there in 3rd. Corey Crowell back in 4th, and then a big gap back to the number 60 here. That is Johnny Thunders, and then we see David Duran Jr. gonna roll back up into the 6th spot. Chris Muse right there behind him. Adolfo Castillo a little farther back here, but he might be able to get around a few of these drivers that were just down pit side. As see Brantlinger already rolling back out onto the racetrack there. A bit of a slow pit stop for that 00 Colton Manich as Manich finally gets back out onto the track here. Unfortunately, he's going to lose that extra spot to Castillo. So we do see Mike Killingbeck head down pit side. So Killingbeck now heads down pit road, and that will hand the lead over to the NOS Energy Peacemaker Gaming Elite Sim Racing. Number 49 of Kurt Sponsler. Sponsler into the top spot here, looking for stage win number 1 here, but he goes up the racetrack into the outside fence. CJ Jeffries will roll around him and take the race lead away. A hefty mistake right there as Sponsler just got in too deep here on the speedway. A heartbreaker there for the 49 as CJ Jeffries takes this race lead, and he's looking to pick up stage win number 1 here on the evening as he rolls nice and easy down the back straightaway here into corner number 3. He will take stage win number 1 here on the evening for the Shenko Custom Diecast JRC Race Cars number 19 rides. So CJ Jeffries with the win here in stage number 1. We'll get ready for stage number 2 in just a few more moments as we do see Kurt Sponsler headed down pit side at the time of this caution flag. Maybe a closed pit road, but I think with the damage, he's trying to get that repaired as quickly as possible and possibly out of gas, as I know gas is very, very tight here for a 20-lap run. CJ Jeffries, though, getting it done, putting himself at the front of the field at the right time to pick up that stage win, pick up the max amount of stage points here, and, you know, in his hopes to try to put himself into that championship 8, you couldn't ask for a better start here on the evening. As we will take a quick break here. Let's see if we can get one of these drivers up here. We want to see if we can pull in. Let's see if we can pull in. See if we can pull in Anthony Garland here. Let's see if we can pull Anthony in. We got him up on the webcam right now. We got actually all these drivers up on the webcam right now. We got them all. But let's see if we can get Anthony up here. A good look here at him inside that car, and we'll see what he's going to say here about some of the strategy early in this race. CJ needs to put his neon green rims on for his mama. Ooh, neon green rims, that would be pretty fresh. I'm not going to lie. That would look very, very fresh out there, and we're going to get ready. We're going to see if we can pull Anthony up here into the booth real quick for a quick little in-race interview. See if we can find a channel to jump in that no one's in. There we go. All right, let's pull Anthony in here. Hey, Anthony, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I do.
Anthony, brother, a little bit of pit strategy here early in this race. We see you and Lancaster, you know, two of the first drivers to head down pit side here. You know, strategy-wise, you know, how do you think that's going to work out for you here, knowing that you've already came down, you got gas, but I'm assuming everyone, we headed down pit side here again for stage number 2. You know, what's the game plan going through the rest of the race, knowing that fuel going to be a big issue here on the evening?
Yeah, fuel's going to be tight for everybody, I think. We could only get about 18, maybe 19 laps. I don't know how the leaders save fuel, but they were able to do it. The idea was to get in once we had enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage, but I had cars below me, so I couldn't get down to pit road. I think tire is going to be a big factor here, too. During practice, I was running pretty hard, and I was killing my right front, so I'm trying to save a little tire here. We'll see how this works out, though. We got to work on getting Adolfo into the playoffs here, so that's our team goal today.
All right, well, some teamwork out there on the racetrack, trying to work together here. Now, how hard is it, though, to really get lined up with each other out there on the racetrack, especially late in this race when we can see this go clean and green like we did there for that first stage. We go into that second stage and things get spread out like that. You know, how do you find your teammates? How do you help them towards the front of the field here throughout this race?
Well, it's not going to be easy to find them because some of us are faster than the other, but drafting will help keep us fast if we can get connected. I know I just came out of the pits behind Adolfo, so this might work well for us. And Chad's out in front of him.
Alrighty, so teammates all right there together. Anthony, good luck out there and have some fun. Hopefully we'll see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of the evening. But as you're rolling back in on the racetrack right now, we do have the webcam up for you. Wave to the crowd here, give them a good wave, and maybe a thumbs up as you get ready for the start of stage number 2.
Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully we see you back up here.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Anthony Garland. Good sport there. Got the webcam on. Allows us to get a good look inside that gaming room. A good look into the, into the cockpit of that number 81. Right, we got a lot of drivers that we'll be looking at here throughout the race to see, exactly, what they're working with out there on the speedway. It's Joshua Neal, Mr. Neal, coming in with that like on the stream. Says good luck, Corey, cheering on Mr. Crowell here this evening as we do see Corey actually head down pit side here for the Midwest Motorsports ride. So headed back down pit road for the 20 machine. I'm not sure if that's just a little extra strategy trying to make sure that that car has as much fuel in it as possible before we go back to Green Flag Racing. As we'll take a quick break right now, we'll take a look here at our sponsors over there for the Land & Sea NSB. Huge shout out to Land & Sea NSB for jumping on board here for our 7th season of the Outcast Racing League. As we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Pocono Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow, and subscribe button as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing is out in front, leading the way here after our first stage. It is our stage winner, the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries. As Jeffries won that first stage, he is out in front getting ready to hit this first restart of the afternoon perfectly down through the Geico restart zone as we are back in action here at Pocono Raceway. As CJ Jeffries leads the way, he'll quickly slide up in front of the 00 of Colton Manich. As Manich right there in position number 2, but here comes David Duran Jr. Two drivers who spent majority of that first stage at the front of the field. They're right there behind our stage 1 winner, CJ Jeffries. Is Jeffries trying to hang on to that top spot. Colton Manich though with a big run down to his inside as he heads down into quarter number 2 through the tunnel turn, and it looks like the 00 will slide up and clear CJ Jeffries and retake this race lead away. So out in front, Colton Manich to the point as here comes David Duran Jr. trying to follow him right on through and around the 19 ride. Chad Lancaster back there in position number 4 and looking for more as Chris Muse there in that 5th position. Adolfo Castillo back in 6 as Anthony Garland right there with him in the 7th spot. Mike Killingbeck, Jamison Heath, and James Garland, Poolboy, rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway as Wayne Garland back there in position number 11 as Lance Brantlinger right down to his inside. Al Reed there in 13th with Kurt Sponsler, Corey Crowell, Johnny Thunders, Gary Wright, and Chad Ragsdale rounding out the rear of the field here in this one. As Colton Manich leads the way here. He's looking to maybe try to pick up stage win number 2, but this 00 ride, unfortunately, is not part of our round of 12 here. Was not in the playoffs here this season after picking up a championship, I do believe, last season or the season before. We saw this 00 get one of those championships, and here he is at the front of the field trying to win another race. He's played the devil's advocate. He's picked up a lot of stage points. He's picked up up a win in these playoffs already and taking those, those automatic lock-ins, some of those big points that drivers may need here for the playoffs away from them. So he's been playing devil's advocate, standing at the front of the field right now, trying to do it again. We'll have to wait and see if he elects to try to get some stage points here in stage number 2, which he doesn't really need. Or does he try to play for the win? Maybe play some strategy here like he did in stage 1. Come down pit road before the stage break and then kind of get rolling there at the beginning of stage number 3 with brand new fresh equipment. Is right there behind him. David Duran Jr. rolls in second here as he's in that second spot. He's been out in front. He's led quite a few laps here himself. He's been working on the back bumper of that 00 ride, giving it everything he can, trying to figure out a way to get back around the 00. Colton manages. Chris Muse now up into third as he's worked himself around CJ Jeffries. Jeffries back there into the 4th spot as Adolfo Castillo trying to track him down. Then we see Anthony Garland, Mike Killingbeck, Lance Brantlinger, Chad Lancaster, Jameson Heath, our top 10 here on the Speedway. And then we see James Garland, Wayne Garland, Al Reed, Corey Crowell, Johnny Thunders, Kurt Sponsler, Gary Wright there in the 16, and the number 83 at Chad Rangsdale, unfortunately, still has not made his way onto the racetrack. So a tough break there for the 83 ride here this evening. Is out in front, continuing to show the way, but a big run down to the inside. Here comes David Duran Jr. Duran down low, looking to clear Colton Manich off of corner number 1. The crossover, though, from the 00 as Manich will get that inside position down the long pond back straightaway here into the tunnel turn down into corner number 2 here at Pocono Raceway. He'll get the run that he needs here through corner number 1 and 2 as David Duran Jr. looked for that big run on corner exit. Couldn't quite get it, couldn't quite get there as Colton Manich will stay out in front. Now he's going to take that line away from that 51 machine as Manich leads the way. David Duran Jr. there in second as they were battling. Here comes Chris Muse right into that fight at the front of the field as Muse there in third. Adolfo Castillo back in the 4th spot with CJ Jeffries now back in position number 5 here on the racetrack. It's again David Duran Jr. with another big run down through corner number 1. He's going to slide up in front of that 00, but a good crossover once again for Colton Manich. Can Manich get back to the front of the field here in quarter number 2 as David trying to run a different line, trying to figure out what he needs here to complete this pass and keep that 00 ride back there behind him as that's 2 laps in a row. We've seen him make the slide job there in corner number 1 and then give it back right there in corner number 2 with perfect crossovers there out of them as they make a little contact. Hang on to it. Oh boy, that almost put the 00 Colton Manich up into the outside fence. They both lose a ton of momentum, and here comes Chris Muse. Muse right here into this fight as he's going to poke the 99 right down low. He's going to try to look for the race lead. Unfortunately, can't quite get clear of that 00. Going to try to find a hole right there. Couldn't quite get one as he'll slide all the way back now again into that 3rd spot as he took that big run. It almost paid off for him, but unfortunately still back in 3rd as here comes Duran Jr. with the big run down through quarter number 2. A little contact back there behind him as Muse and Manich made a little bumper tag down on the corner exit, but that will allow the 51 of David Duran Jr. back to the front of the field here at Pocono Raceway. So he leads the way. He's shown these drivers how to get it done here. Is down across the line. See 32 laps up on the board. We got 8 laps left here before the end of stage number 2. 8 more laps here before the end of the 2nd stage. Oh, brother, we've seen some great racing, but this is where strategy will start to come into play. Will drivers come down pit side? We do see Kurt Sponsler heading down pit road here in his Elite Sim Racing number 49 ride. So Sponsler down pit road early here before the end of the stage. To wait and see how this one plays out for him. I do apologize, a little yawn right there. I have not slept very good the last 3 or 4 nights. I don't know what's been going on. I just can't fall asleep, can't sleep. It sucks. It sucks. I went golfing yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, on about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes of sleep. I don't even know if it was definitely not a deep sleep, as I'm pretty sure, I don't even think I actually slept. I'm pretty sure I listened to Netflix running in the background the entire night, but it was definitely rough. And then the golf game started out a little bit astray, got a little bit better, and then just got really, really rough. I was super tired at the end. You know, out in the sun, it was super hot. I was just dead. It was awful, but we got some pretty cool golf content. We got some pretty cool shots we'll be editing up throughout today. Probably post a couple up there for reels, and we'll probably put some of them up and into some videos, and maybe have a brand new golf video for everyone to watch over on the YouTube channel and probably over on the Facebook channel as well, as definitely want to get that golf content out there and continue to make more and more and more of it, and continue to work on getting better equipment, more cameras, more people to help maybe shoot with the cameras, as I feel like that took a lot away from it, doing it by myself kind of deal. I feel like it took a lot of the golf game out of it. I was more worried about getting the camera set up and everything else than what I really was about playing golf, you know. So definitely want to maybe see if we can get someone out there next time to take that out of our hands, do the camera work where I can just focus on the golf itself. And I think that would help out a ton there for the golfing content, which would be absolutely insane. And hopefully you guys are excited for it. Hopefully everyone's ready to watch some not only continue to watch amazing racing here, but seeing some other cool in real life content with us here as well on Peacemaker Gaming. As out in front, the 51 rider David Duran Jr. continues to lead the way. Colton Manich right there in position number 2. Chris Muse back there in 30, slid back a little ways here from our top 2 drivers, and now has Adolfo Castillo right there behind him, as Castillo trying to work himself up into 3rd. Here is the 19 of CJ Jeffries. Rolls there in 5th. We see Anthony Garland there in 6th. Lance Brantlinger, Jameson Heath, Mike Killingbeck, Corey Crowell, our top 10 here on the Speedway. James Garland, Wayne Garland back there in 11th and 12th with Al Reed, Johnny Thunders, Chad Lancaster, our top 15, and then we see Kurt Sponsler back here in that 16th position. Luckily enough for him, he is the 1 car, 1 lap down out there on the racetrack right now. Actually, I do believe Gary Wright also a lap down back in the 17th position, but if a caution flag were to fly right now, or if he was to get a little lucky, then number 49 Wright should get the free pass. He's in that lucky dog spot. So he's hoping that this can end the stage in a quick hurry. Hopefully no one else goes a lap down, and he can put himself into that lucky dog spot here before the end of this stage, where we know that caution flag is going to come out. As David Duran Jr. continues to lead the way, Colton Manich right there with them still. The top 2 as they are, nose to tail out there on the speedway. Only a couple car lengths separating them. You take a look back, almost 3 seconds now, back to our 3rd place driver, CJ Jeffries, has worked himself around our 3rd place driver here and put himself right there into that 3rd spot, as I do believe Chris Muse sliding backwards here in that 99 ride, already back into the 7th spot here on the track. But we see Brantlinger and CJ Jeffries working towards the front of the field. Adolfo Castillo right there, as well as Anthony Garland. There's 5 cars battling back here for our top 3 here in the end of stage number 2, as out in front, the 51 ride of David Duran Jr. continues to lead the way here in this one. And these two have been class of the field here all evening. Wowzers, they put on a heck of a show for us. David Duran Jr., Colton Manich, both drivers putting on a great race here this evening, as David Duran Jr. led a lot of laps early. We saw the 00 get around him, lead some laps himself, and then there in the start of the 2nd stage, able to make the moves, get back out in front, lead some laps until David Duran Jr. took it back away from him, and now trying to open up that big lead, as they are absolutely fighting back there behind him, each and every one of these drivers going through a dogfight back there a little deeper in the field. You see Lance Brantlinger, CJ Jeffries, Adolfo Castillo, Anthony Garland, Chris Muse, all right there in that fight. Let's see if we can jump right on board here with Chris Muse. Take a good look at that, as we'll take a look here as well at Mr. Muse and his webcam here on the broadcast. So get a good look here at that number 99 ride, what he's dealing with. Behind the wheel, you can see him trying to, he's muscling that wheel around the speedway. Get a great look there inside the cockpit and what Muse is doing. Hands obviously got those paddle shifters shifting up, down, everything else, trying to work that throttle, trying to put himself towards the front of the field here, maybe trying to hang on to it and gain some extra points here in stage number 2 as he's all over the back bumper of Anthony Garland. All over the back bumper of the 81. Gives him a good shove. That will put him to the inside here of the 19 of CJ Jeffries. Jeffries going to stay there to the outside of that 81 ride as Chris Muse right here having the best seat in the house here for this battle on the racetrack. Another good bump, another good draft right here to the back end of that 19 ride. Not going to make the move though here in corner number 2 as the number 99 of Chris Muse continues to slide backwards now. Starting to lose the back bumper of that 81 ride is out in front. David Durant Jr. continues to lead the way. He's looking to pick up this stage win. There's a huge shout out there to Chris Muse. Great sport there, jumping in with the webcam. Hopefully we will see him back up here before the end of the evening as Chris Muse currently sitting in the 7th spot. David Durant Jr., though, he continues to lead the way. Durant out in front as these laps continue to get clicked down. We see lap number 40 up onto the board, so I do believe next time by the start-finish line, we will see the end of stage number 2 here on the evening. So stage number 2 possibly coming to a close here in just a few more one more corner, actually, as they head into corner number 3 here. Let's head into corner number 3. There is no corner number 4. The tricky triangle as David Durant Jr. with a good run down out of 3. He'll head down across the line. I do believe that should bring an end to stage number 2 here. I believe they're going to wait until a few more cars pass the start-finish line to make sure that everything stays competitive. There you go. All these drivers making it past. There's the yellow flag. So we go back under the caution for the end of stage number 2 here is David Durant Jr. picking up that stage win. A great run and a great drive right there for him. See if we can get one of these drivers up into the booth here. We see if we get one of these guys in here. I'm not sure if David Durant Jr. is in there. He is in there. Is CJ Jeffries in here? I did not see CJ in here. There he is. He's way up there. He's way up there. What's CJ doing way up there? All right, well, we're going to get ready. We're going to pull our second stage winner here into the broadcast booth. Let's get ready to pull David Durant Jr. in for his post-race interview. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our stage 2 winner, David Durant Jr. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy? Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy? If you do hear me, you are muted, so I can't hear you. Still muted. Oh, no. Alrighty, well, we can't seem to get a hold of that number 51 ride for some reason. Don't know why I can't hear him, but we'll jump up and see if we can get stage winner number 1 here into the booth. He finished 5th in stage number 2, CJ Jeffries. See if we can get CJ up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, CJ, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
CJ and brother, a great run there. Stage number 1, you pick up the win. Stage 2, you come home in that 5th spot here as you're looking to try to work yourself into that final 8 here a week from today, man. You're having a good, solid performance so far here at Pocono. What's the game plan here for the final stage?
Well, I didn't take tires at the end of stage, whatever, stage 1. Sorry, I'm pitting. Anyway, so I didn't take tires, so I was able to stay up there in 5th or whatever it was and get some points. So the game plan now is to just go race. I have all my sets of tires for the next 2 pit stops because I believe it's going to be a 2-stop race after this, and we're going to go hard and see what we can get.
Absolutely, going hard, trying to work yourself into victory lane and possibly a good finish here to lock yourself into that championship 8 a week from today, man. You got a lot of fast cats up there, though. We've seen you dealing with them. We saw you racing with them, but now you got those fresh tires. Do you think you're going to be able to hang with them a little bit easier, maybe make some more passes and work yourself to the front of the field?
Yeah, I absolutely think I will be able to. I think David and Colton and a lot of these guys up front, Chris, everybody, I think everybody's taking a set of tires that's in front of me right now. So I'll be able to go as hard as I want for the rest of the race pretty much. And these guys are going to have to probably strategize just a little bit more to keep their track position. So I think I'm in a good spot for the rest of the race. And hopefully we can just stay clean and keep it out of the wall and, keep things going from there.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hopefully we see you back up here in the broadcast booth before the end of the evening, but we'll let you get back out there onto the racetrack, get focused back up and ready for the restart here, our second restart of the evening, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here by the end of the evening. CJ, congrats on the stage win, and congrats on a solid run there in stage number 2, and hoping for the best here for you for the rest of this race.
Yeah, thank you. Seeing you at the end of the race, that's part of the plan, so we'll see you in 45 laps or so.
Beauty, we look forward to it, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for CJ Jeffries jumping in here with us and giving us a little in-race interview there as drivers will get stacked up, racked up, and are ready to go here for stage number 3 here on the evening. So final stage of this race, drivers will get ready to go back to battle about halfway in and halfway through this race as stage number 2 is about to get underway. We'll take a quick break here. We'll give you guys a look here at our sponsors over at Landon C and SB. As we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Lap number 45 will go up onto the board, so that means we're halfway in and halfway to go here at Pocono Raceway. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what that means. Our final stage getting underway. Halfway in and halfway to go here. We're going to crank it up here on the restart, so crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Pocono Raceway, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up right there. He's getting a great look at the sights and sounds around Pocono Raceway. As out in front, leading the way, we saw CJ Jeffries make the move to get out in front, but now he's got to deal with the 0-0 of Colton Manage. Manage down to his inside, looking to manage this race lead and get back out in front as he will make the move and take the race lead back away from CJ Jeffries. Jeffries was able to jump up there, take it away from David Duran Jr. as our top 3, 4, 5 drivers all right there. He can throw a blanket over them as Manage, Jeffries, Duran, Lance Brantlinger there in the 8 and the 20 ride of Corey Crowell round out our top 5 here on the racetrack. They got a bit of an advantage here between them and our 6th place driver, Jameson Heath, as Heath is about 2.8 seconds back from the rear of this 5-car breakaway at the front of the field. Heath there in position number 6 here. Anthony Garland, unfortunately, a lap down, has already came down pit side, made his first pit stop here of this final stage of the race. So some strategy out of the 81, trying to put himself possibly into the winner's circle with that strategy, but right now playing a dangerous game. If a caution flag were to fly between now and before the rest of this field has to come down pit side, that could trap him a lap down. But right now, he is in that free pass position. He's currently the first car, 1 lap down on the racetrack. But as more and more drivers make pit stops, he may potentially put himself out of a chance here to stay on that lead lap. As out in the pits now, we see that number 84, the Captain Morgan's machine. That's the 84 of Wayne Garland. Garland down pit side here. He's getting some work done to his car, some fuel into it, and he's going to roll back out onto the racetrack as well with the Captain Morgan's Iced Tea number 84. He'll get rolling here once again, looking to try to stay on the lead lap as he heads out of pit lane. You do see our race leaders coming off corner number 3 here as Colton Manage down across the line as he started to open up a little bit of a gap between himself and CJ Jeffries. Jeffries starting to build a gap here himself between himself and the 51 of David Duran Jr. as David has a handful right now. He's got 2 tough competitors right there on his back bumper. The 20 of Corey Crowell and Lance Brantlinger in the 8 ride right there, ready to bounce. And you see that number 81 who's already made a green flag pit stop here in this final stage of this race, and he's working himself up and through the top 5 right now, putting down some great lap times on the racetrack. But Colton Manage continues to lead the way. Jeffries trying to track him back down here at the front of the field as some green flag pit stops starting to get back underway. Crystal up in the Facebook comments says, I love the new feature where you can show your contenders' faces while they're racing. Amazing. I appreciate that, Crystal. Yeah, it's pretty cool being able to get a bit of an inside look at what these drivers are doing behind the wheel, or kind of get a good look, a good sense of their setup and what they're dealing with. A lot of them, you can see their hands, you can see them working the wheel and trying to drive, trying to navigate themselves through some traffic and everything else. So definitely a very cool feature. We do see David Duran Jr. head down pit side a little bit early here. So Duran down pit road into that first pit stall. Here is our pole sitter on the evening. Down pit side here, he'll try to get a quick pit stop, roll back out there onto the racetrack, and if he can roll a few laps with fresher equipment, he may be able to leapfrog the drivers that were right there in front of him, including Colton Manage, CJ Jeffries, Lance Brantlinger, and Corey Crowell. He may be able to put himself in a better position here after the next 3 or 4 laps here, especially if he can get some good green flag running here with some fresh air, as we do see Corey Crowell. He is going to head down pit side here as well. So the Midwest Motorsports number 20 ride, the Hammerhead Gaming number 20 ride, heads down pit road here. He's going to get some work done to his car. He's going to get set up, as we also see Chad Lancaster also down pit side here in the Land and Sea NSP 02 ride as the Syndicate Racing Machine down pit road here again as well. So green flag pit stop slowly but surely happening here at Pocono Raceway. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out, where everyone comes back out onto the racetrack where they're set up and everything else, as some drivers may be able to jump a little farther forward, taking that quick pit or pitting early out there on the speedway compared to staying out a little bit longer, as we do see CJ Jeffries and Lance Brantlinger also head down pit road here. We'll see Jameson Heath headed down pit side, so Heath down pit road. We do see Lancaster a slow stop there for the 0-2 ride, but he does get rocking and rolling here once again, but unfortunately looks like he will go a lap down as the 0-0 of Colton Manich rolls around him right now, but this is going to be a tricky spot. Now the 0-2 ride in that free pass position, so if there's a caution flag, he would get that free pass back onto the lead lap. That would trap his teammate in the 81, Anthony Garland, a lap down, who's right there behind him. Anthony trying to catch up to him and put himself back into that free pass spot, and he will make that move, so he'll get around Lancaster right there, as we do have more drivers down pit side. Pool Boy, the Outcast Racing League, Shenko Custom Diecast 37 down pit side here as well. We do see Colton Manich make that hard left-hand turn, so the Williamsburg Contracting 0-0, the Shenko Custom Diecast machine heads down pit side here, so green flag pit stops for all of our race leaders, as right now Chris Muse, one of the few drivers that hasn't come down pit side yet. So strategy here for the 99 rider Chris Muse is Muse staying out there on the racetrack a little bit longer here. He's going to try to see if he can use some of this strategy to maybe put himself into a winning position. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out when he decides to make that left-hand turn. As Joshua Neal says, let's go number 20. Cheered on that 20 rider Corey Crowell, as Crowell looking really good there. He was running fast up inside the top 5 there before green flag pit stops got underway. We'll have to wait and see if that continues, as we do get a look there at James Garland, as we saw him there on that, where we're looking for Chris Muse webcam. There we go. See Chris Muse headed down pit side. Now he's going to go down through the gears, down to pit road speed, and he is going to head down into his pit stall here for his green flag pit stop. So didn't wait too much longer, but unfortunately for Muse, he's going to give up that race lead. Colton Manich, I do believe, will come out of the pits as our race leader still. So even though he stayed out for a little bit longer, had a very quick pit stop for that 0-0 ride, as right now you just see the 99 of Chris Muse starting to get jacked up on the right side, left side, as Colton Manich already rolls around him. That will move Chris Muse deeper and deeper into this field, as just getting back onto the throttles. You'll see Kurt Sponsler back down pit side as well. So we'll have to wait and see how all of these happen, as best viewers in Canada. Okay, yep, sure, yep, I'm good. Damn bots over on Twitch, brother, I swear to God. That's literally half of all Twitch, brother. It's just bots. That's absolutely wild. That's ludicrous. I'm not gonna lie. That is ludicrous. As out in front, see the 0-0 rider Colton Manich take that race lead back away here after his green flag pit stop, and everything cycles through here as CJ Jeffries there in second. He's back about 2.8 seconds, so he lost about 2.5 seconds right there with that pit strategy. I'm not sure what the reason was. I'm not sure if maybe Colton Manich just a little quicker down pit side, or maybe just back up through the gears a little faster than the 19 ride. But we figured he'd be maybe able to leapfrog our race leader Colton Manich there with that quick pit in the early pit compared to the 0-0, but does not pay out for him here in this one, as he'll sit back in position number 2. He's going to try to track down our race leader Colton Manich here, though, rather quickly, as David Duran Jr. there in third, Corey Crowell there in fourth, as Lance Brantlinger bringing up our top 5 on the speedway. A great run so far for the captain of Morgan's Iced Tea number 84, Wayne Garland, having himself a day here, as Wayne finds himself up inside the top 10, currently running in the 6th position, as we see 25 laps left to go here in this race in the 84 there in P6. Let's see if we can get a good look here at Wayne in the setup. We saw him during the Crank It Up session, but we'll get a good look here at Wayne Garland, still rolling out there on the racetrack, and you know, he's working hard out there on the speedway. He's got that little bit of a lean into him. He's leaning like he's trying to get that car to turn a little bit better. Might be a little bit tight for him, but he's working that wheel. He's working that car, trying to get towards the front of the field, and looking to just have a great day here at Pocono. And, man, he's putting in the work. He's building up a sweat right now, and I'm sure he's going to be deserving of some Captain Morgan's iced tea after this race, as I'm sure all these drivers are going to want a nice cool down and relaxing afternoon after a hard-fought fight like today, man. A lot of green flag laps, a lot of good battles out there on the racetrack door to door, and nose to tail for so many laps here on the night. As out in front, Colton Manich continues to lead the way. Manich out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick drink, and we'll get back into the action here in just a few more moments. Yo, Black Phoenix, how are you, brother? Black Phoenix coming in, showing the love right there. Sorry about that, chap. I had to get a drink. Had to cough right there. I had a frog in my throat or something there. Woo! That was close. I didn't want to cough too much on stream right there. So, good thing we got that taken care of. But this 0-0 out in front, continuing to lead the way here. But that lead is evaporating. We've seen David Durant Jr. work himself back around CJ Jeffrey. So, Duran now into P2. Jeffries there in third. Corey Crowell right there in position number 4 as Colton Manich, seeing that gap that he had, continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller as the Williamsburg Contracting 0-0 ride came out of pit side with almost a 3-second lead. Now seeing that lead evaporate lap after lap after lap. They're getting closer and closer. It's down to 6/10 here, down across the line here. And with still only 22 laps of racing left to go here, that's a lot of laps to have mistakes or run into issues out there on the racetrack. And maybe not getting the, 4 tires, maybe not hitting the strategy calls perfectly here could put this 0-0 ride at a disadvantage late in this race. It may put him at a disadvantage right now as this field is right there on his back bumper. They are looking to make these moves and put themselves into the race lead, and there you go. You do see that number 51. He is going to clear him down through quarter number 2. So David Durant Jr. back out in front as he'll take this race lead back away from Colton Manich. Manich going to still try to battle back strong here down to his inside, but he's just not going to have that run off of corner number 3. And unfortunately, he will slide back into position number 2. And David Durant Jr. will take this race lead back away. Here comes that 19 right now as 19 is CJ Jeffries right there. Gets a little high on quarter entry, but looking for a big run. But here comes Corey Crowell as well. They're looking to maybe split this 0-0 and go 3 wide as it got very close there, but a great run down the long pond back straightaway for CJ Jeffries as he's able to jump up and take position number 2 away from Colton Manich. Manich will now slide back to 4th as Corey Crowell will make the move around him, but a good battle back here for the 0-0 as he works to the inside of that 20 ride. See if Corey Crowell can get a big run here at a corner number 3. It looks like he's going to get the run that he needed. So Corey Crowell back up into 3rd here as Colton Manich continues to slide backwards, now into 4th, and Lance Brantlinger not too far back here behind him as Brantlinger will try to hunt him down and maybe see if he can make that pass on the 0-0 as our top 5 still with a huge advantage here on the rest of the field, all the way back to Wayne Garland, over 5 seconds here. Wayne back there in position number 6, a second and a half back. We see Jamison Heath there in 7th. The 37 there, that is Pool Boy James Garland. He is the first car, I do believe, 1 lap down out there on the racetrack as Behind James, we see our 8th place driver, Mike Killingback. The 99 of Chris Muse there in 9th, and the 31 of Adolfo Castillo back there in position number 10. Chad Lancaster here in 11th has Anthony Garland right there behind him, as we'll take a look at both of these drivers in their battle out there on the speedway. We'll see if we can get a good look right here. Let's see. We can get the battle box right there and see if we can get something going here with this. We can get some cool looks right here with these two drivers duking it out on the racetrack. They're actually teammates out there as well, so teamwork makes the dream work here, and we'll get both these drivers up on the webcam here. Let's take a look at both these drivers and what they're doing out there on the racetrack as they roll nose to tail. They got James Garland and Mike Killingback in front of them. They're trying to use the teamwork, trying to put themselves up towards the front of the field here and trying to figure out if this draft can help push them a little closer to that top 10. Is right now both drivers sitting outside the top 10 looking in. I know they both want to be up inside the top 10 here, so they may need some more pit strategy. They may need a caution flag to put themselves into those positions, or for some issues with some of the other drivers out there on the racetrack, if they can run into issues, may open up the door here. The 02 and the 81 to put themselves back into contention here, maybe put themselves back into a top 10, top 5 situation on the evening, as you get a great look at both drivers here rolling on the speedway in their cockpits, in their gaming rooms, their living rooms, their entire setups on display right now. You can see them rolling these wheels, working focused here on the speedway, shifting here and making sure they keep themselves pointed in the right direction. As Anthony Garland with the green walls there in all of the die-cast cars right above me, that is Mr. Anthony Garland in that gray and black 81 ride. And then in the Land & Sea NSB 02, it's Chad Lancaster. He is in the other camera on the far side of the screen there, over by the battle box, way over there. He's up and over there, and he is trying to keep on rolling here. I figured we would have saw both drivers come down pit side at the same time, but some different pit strategy here for Anthony Garland and Chad Lancaster as Anthony heads down pit side here in that number 81 ride, making what could possibly be his final pit stop of the day. We'll see Jamison Heath and Al Reed come down pit side as well. So some strategy coming into play. We'll have to wait and see how this all works out, as, whoo, baby, he's got her all pumped up here. Just running the RPMs to 8,300 RPMs there for quite a while. Wait for that car to drop off the jacks and get right onto the throttle as quickly as possible. Hopefully that doesn't hurt the motor too much, as that would definitely not be the best case scenario for that 81 ride. Once again, huge shout out to Anthony and Chad, both having their webcams here for us on the evening. As out in front, continuing to lead the way, it's David Durant Jr. As David Durant Jr. out in front, CJ Jeffries right there with them in position number 2. We see Colton Manich head down pit side now, same with Adolfo Castillo and Corey Crowell. Looks like Crowell gonna make a quick pit stop there. He's gonna roll out quite a bit in front of that 00 Colton Manich. So Manich maybe not a good pit stop there out of that Schenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg 00 ride. Corey Crowell came down after him and came out way ahead of him here. Now, I'm not sure if Colton got 2 tires and Corey got 0. That may be the difference maker, but we'll have to wait and see if the 00 can track him back down to see if he can work himself to the front of the field. Chris Muse now down pit side here himself. We'll see Wayne Garland and Mike Killingback also down pit side here. So 3 more drivers down pit road, rocking and rolling here once again, as David Durant Jr. out in front, continuing to lead the way here. I believe all these drivers will have to make at least one more pit stop out there on the racetrack, but man, what a run so far for David Durant Jr. with only 15 more laps left to go. 14 this next time by the start-finish line. We'll jump into one more quick Peacemaker Gaming, crank it up, and then we'll bring you right here for the end of our feature event here this evening. Down across the line. Lance Brantlinger continuing to lead the way here. Brantlinger out in front in the number 8 machine as Brantlinger leads the way. He'll head down the long pond. Back straight away here into the tunnel turn, looking for a big run here, looking to try to make it to the end of this race with 9 more laps left to go. Can he hang on to pick up the win here this evening as David Duran Jr. and CJ Jeffrey try to track him down as they're right there behind him, slowly but surely trying to reel in our race leader. As Brantlinger leads the way, Duran Jr. there in second, CJ Jeffries there in third. As these drivers continue to battle out there on the racetrack, you'll get a good look right here at how spread out they are out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get the track map going here as car number, position, let's do car number. As there you go, you can take a good look here at all these drivers and where they are on the racetrack here with the track map. You can see how spread out drivers are here this evening as things have opened up with a long green flag run to finish off this feature event. We see a lot of green flag pit stops, a lot of drivers kind of getting messed around as we do see this battle at the front of the field range on the 51 ride. We'll make that pass and take the race lead away. So out in front late in this one, David Duran Jr. back to the front of the field. So David Duran Jr. out in front as Lance Brantlinger trying to hang on to second. Here comes CJ Jeffries right there, his back bumper. CJ there in position number 3, but looking to try to pick up the win here this evening as a little farther back you see our 4th place driver Corey Crowell there in that 4th spot in the 20 machine. Our 5th place driver Colton Manage back here trying to hang on as he's got Chris Muse right there on his back bumper. Muse looking to try to jump up and put himself in the top 5 here this evening as Adolfo Castillo there in 7th. Mike Killingbeck back in 8th. Jamison Heath there in 9th, and Wayne Garland rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Anthony Garland there in 11th with Chad Lancaster, Johnny Thunders, Al Reed, and James Garland, our top 15 here on the Speedway. Kurt Sponsler there in 16th. Gary Wright and Chad Ragsdale bringing up the rear of the field, but out in front, down across the line. That time by, we see 6 more laps. 6 more laps of racing action here from the Tricky Triangle Pocono Raceway here with the Outcast Racing League. Is once again, this is our final race the round of 12, meaning that we got one more race here after this evening for season number 7 as it's slowly but surely coming to a close here. Only one more week left to go after today, meaning next Sunday, you guys do not want to miss the action as our top 8 drivers in the points will go to battle for the championship. Next Sunday, all the points will be leveled out. Everyone will virtually be back at 0. It's win and you're basically in. It's win and you're the champion next week. So whoever in that top 8 can finish in front of the other 7 drivers in that championship race next Sunday will be our champion here in the Outcast Racing League Season 7. Now what comes with that is a little bit of prize money, a little bit of bragging rights. You also get a custom made die-cast race car of your iRacing ride. So if you got a really cool paint scheme, you got an opportunity to pick up that championship and to earn yourself a really, really cool die-cast car. I mean, they're pretty big. They're like the bigger ones, the bigger die-cast cars. Each and every one of these drivers, they want one. They want one. They want it to show off to all their friends and family and everything else, something that they earn for all their hard work after weeks and weeks and weeks of tough competing and tough racing racing action here in the Outcast Racing League. And we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here to figure out who our top 8 will be and who will be part of that championship battle here in just a couple more laps. As 4 more laps left to go. David Duran Jr. out in front leading the way. He knows if he can win this race, he's automatically locked in to that championship 8, but he's got the 19 of CJ Jeffries right there behind him as they snake down the Long Pond straightaway here into the tunnel turn in corner number 2. The 51 of David Duran Jr. leads the way. David Duran out in front, showing them how to get it done. Wowzers. We've seen some great racing here throughout the evening, and we haven't seen a whole lot of contact. We've seen a little bit of bumping, a little bit of shoving, but mostly pretty easy contact. No massive damage for any drivers out there on the racetrack. And David Duran Jr., he's loving that. There's 3 more laps left to go. I think the last thing he would want to see is a caution flag, as we do see Corey Crowell catching to the back bumper here of Lance Brantlinger. This is a battle for position number 3 on the speedway. Corey Crowell down low, looking to make this move, looking to jump up into 3rd. Brantlinger trying to hang on to that 3rd position as Chris Muse back there in position number 5 has Colton Manich right there with them as Manich in position number 6. Would love to try to finish this race off with a top 5 run, but Chris Muse, our points champion early in the season here, our regular season points champion, rolling there in 6th. He's trying to hang on to that 5th position, trying to make sure he gets as many points as he can here late in this race to try to lock himself into that championship 8 race, as well as Castillo back there a little farther. There in 7th. Mike Killingback back in 8th with Jamison Heath and Wayne Garland rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. Anthony Garland back there in the 11th position. Johnny Thunders back there in 12th with Chad Lancaster. Al Reed and James Garland, our top 15 here on the speedway as the laps continue to click down. David Duran Jr. continues to lead the way. Is down into corner number 2. Nice and easy out of corner number 2. They got him half a lap away from the white flag as he's still trying to break that draft, trying to snake his way down these straightaways. If he can get that draft off the nose of the 19 ride, maybe dump some dirty air onto him, maybe make him a little bit tight through the corners or into the corners where he can get that advantage. As down the front straightaway, we will see that white flag fly here at Pocono Raceway. 1 more lap left to go here for David Duran Jr. to try to pick up the checker flag here this evening. Can he hang on and hold off the 19 of CJ Jeffries, as Jeffries right there in position number 2, trying to give it everything he can to try to steal this win away from that 51 ride. Knows the tale about a car length between them as they head down into corner number 2. CJ sends it in there deep. He gets right to the back bumper. He hits his marks. A great corner there for the 19 ride as we head down into our 3rd and final corner here on the evening. The 51 of David Duran Jr. out in front, but a great run for the 19. He's going to get a little tight, washes up the racetrack, almost door to door off of corner number 3, but it's David Duran Jr. who will pick up the checkered flag here this evening, and he'll punch his ticket into our championship 8. He will get an opportunity to race for our championship next Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the 51 ride as he gets the win here on the evening. A huge round of applause for CJ Jeffries there in 2nd. A great run and a great drive there for the 19 ride as well, coming up oh so close to getting it done here this evening, but no one beating the 51 of David Duran Jr. here today as he's going to jump to the front straightaway and he's going to get ready to burn down the house here this evening. Wowzers, what a run and what a drive here for the 51, for the 19 ride, for the 20 of Corey Crowell coming home in that 3rd and final podium finish, and for the rest of the field putting on one absolutely amazing show for us. Wowzers, that was a ton of fun. David going to pull up here. He's going to get ready to burn it down. We'll see if he wears the tires out on this 51 rider if he's going to try to save that car. Make sure that it stays in good shape, not burning up that motor, as he may want the exact same ride for next Sunday when he'll try to battle for our championship, as that's going to definitely be playing in the back of each and every one of these drivers' minds, trying to put themselves into that championship race, trying to make sure they don't mess up their rides too much. But we're going to see a bit of a burnout here from him. There we go. There we go. He is going to burn down the house now. So a great run right there, as he is going to burn down the house. David Duran Jr. going to have an opportunity next week to put himself into the championship history books here, as we'll get ready for our top three to jump up into the broadcast waiting room, and we'll get ready to pull them in for their post-race interviews. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for David Duran Jr. as he picks up the win here this evening. He parks himself up in victory lane. If you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys do me a favor. It's absolutely free to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, and if you're feeling nice, jump up into the comment section and let's get some comments rolling up in the chat. Let's see some hashtag 51s for that number 51 ride of David Duran Jr. picking up the win here this evening. What a drive from Mr. Durandis. Wowzers, what a drive, what a run CJ Jeffries gave him there at the end, though, as I thought maybe a little contact was coming, maybe a bump and run through the tunnel turn, maybe bump and run down through quarter number 3, but nice, easy, respectful racing between the two tough competitors, and they put on a show for us, Chad. They put on an absolutely great show for us. Joshua Neal with the hashtag 51, good win. Yes, Sirski, what a win, what a good win right there for David Duran Jr. here today. As we'll get ready to pull our top three up into the broadcast booth here, we'll wait for them to jump into the waiting room. I do see CJ Jeffries in there. We'll have to wait for the rest of our competitors to jump in here as well. May jump into a different room. We did have David. We tried to pull David in at the end of stage number 2. He was muted. I'm not sure if he knew he was muted or not, but let's see if we can get him back in here again, maybe. See if we can get him up and in here. Corey Crowell down there as well. We're just waiting for these drivers to jump into the waiting room. See Chris Muse into the waiting room. Here's our race winner. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we got our race winner up here patiently as he's pulled into victory lane here at Pocono Raceway. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for David Duran Jr. picking up the win here this evening. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy?
I do.
David, brother, a great run and a great drive here for you today, as you're able to not only park yourself up here in the Pocono Raceway victory lane, but you're able to punch your ticket and lock yourself in to the Championship 8 next week, man. Take us not only back throughout the closing laps of this race with CJ Jeffries right there in your back bumper, but take us through the emotions, getting the win, and knowing that you have an opportunity at becoming Season 7 champion here with the Outcast Racing League.
Just consistently hitting my marks. The draft here is so strong with this package, with these cars. So, even if you're like a half a second or anywhere around that range, you're able to, try to catch a guy in front of you. So that's to say, just keep hitting my marks, and that's what I was doing. I knew CJ was going to make a move. It's just a matter of when. And we were going at it for the last 5-6 laps there, so it was good, clean, hard racing. Just try to. It was harder to save fuel in this first stage. I had to pit with like 3 or 4 laps to go before stage 1. Just hope some other people did the same thing, which they did. But it's hard to save fuel because, like I said, the draft is so strong. So the more advantage, the better. But to get a victory is one of my favorite racetracks in this car, so I'm happy to get the win out of it and try to close it out next week at Daytona.
Absolutely going to be a tough draw there. Daytona is such a tricky racetrack. Not only just be at the front of the field late in the race to put yourself into a winning situation, but to be able to survive throughout that entire race without getting a lot of carnage or anything else that happens, going to be very, very tricky. But we see today no caution flags for incidents out there on the racetrack. Maybe we'll get some of the same there at Daytona, but it can play the total opposite direction, especially when you think of the big wrecks that we've seen in the past there at Daytona International Speedway. What's your game plan kind of going into that final race? What's in the back of your mind to try to be there at the end, to be the champion here for this season?
I would say stages don't matter. I just think it's to try to take it easy, try to survive, and let everyone else take themselves out, because it's going to be a lot of aggression. Try to work with Lance and Wayne and try to, there's 8 of us, so I'm hoping, Wayne got up there in the top 8, so we'll see when points come around. But 8 of us is a lot for a championship, so it's going to be a lot going on. Like I said, I can just try to survive, take it easy for a little bit. Then once the first 2 stages end, then gotta try to put myself in a position to try to be out there at the end. And then it's chaos. So there's so much unpredictability at Daytona in this package with this car. So it's just a matter of just know who your friends are, work with them, try to stay with them, and see what happens at the end. So we'll see what happens at Daytona.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to see how it all unfolds. But David, a great run here in this one as you're able to pull the 51 right up into victory lane. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Let's thank racing with Wayne and Lance there, and shout out to CJ for racing really hard and clean right there. This is a tricky track to pass, so he gave it his all. So it was fun racing hard for those last 5-6 laps with him. So greatly appreciated. Happy we got the win. Move on to Daytona next week.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you back out there, and hopefully, maybe we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, and maybe as our champion as the dust settles and the fireworks start there at Daytona International Speedway next Sunday. But David, congrats on the win, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here next week.
I hope so. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, David Duran Jr. as David picks up the win here this evening. He parks himself up in victory lane, and he knows what's at stake next week. He's got to be able to stay alive and keep himself out of trouble and be there at the end to maybe be our champion here next Sunday as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, CJ Jeffries. Is CJ coming home in position number 2? I see Crystal Jeffries there says, I am totally looking forward to next week's race. CJ is going to dominate. Ooh, baby, it's a tough racetrack to dominate, that's for certain, but we can get out in front and try to stay out in front. It's definitely sometimes the safest place to be is just at the front of the field and in front of all the carnage that can unfold back there behind you as we'll get ready to pull CJ up into the broadcast booth. Hey CJ, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
CJ, brother, a good run, a good drive. We talked to you there at the end of stage number 2, and you talked about the French Tigers and how you were going to try to be there at the end to maybe be the race winner here this evening, and you were only a couple car lengths away from getting it done here, but David Duran Jr. just running such a good race and such a fast car out there. You had to settle in for position number 2, but you didn't settle there until that front straightaway coming off quarter number 3 as you gave it everything you had here at Pocono on those closing laps to try to close the gap and make that move underneath of them. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get the run you needed there in 3.
Yeah, honestly, it took me 83 laps to figure out this track. I saved fuel for the whole first stage, ran hard the second stage, ran hard for the rest of the race after that, but I needed someone in front of me just to gain like reference points because the tunnel turn just killed me the entire race. I don't think I ran a clean tunnel turn until like lap 83, so David being in front of me for that last run wasn't like the worst thing for me. It kind of just allowed me to learn as much as I could, and just I didn't want to wreck him on the last lap because I definitely didn't want to settle for second. I'm here to win races, just like everybody. And I was hoping he'd get a little tight, pushing hard there out of 3. And David's he's really good. I mean, regardless of what anybody's opinion of him is or what we've seen at like Bristol or Watkins Glen, where maybe he just didn't keep up, he's actually just incredibly good. And no, I mean, overall though, I'm happy to take a second. I'm happy to take a stage win. Those are points, and that's points that other guys don't get. And so hopefully it makes things a little bit tighter, down the list of the standings. So no, overall happy with the second. I think it's about the peak I could have gotten unless I made contact with David. So I'll take it.
Absolutely, a great run nonetheless, and a great finish here for yourself. As you get to look forward to next Sunday when we head to Daytona International Speedway. What's kind of the game plan? What's your thought process going into a racetrack like Daytona International Speedway, knowing that not only is it just a tough track to try to survive and to just be there at the end, you also gotta just now deal with 7 other drivers in that championship hunt to deal with here. You got to keep them all back there behind you to be the champion. So basically, you win it, and you win it here next week, and it's gonna be a tough one, man. What's your thought process? What's the game plan kind of deal going into Daytona, knowing that you got an opportunity to be the 7th season champion here on Outcast Racing League?
Yeah, for one, it would be an honor to be the champion here in Outcast. I put a lot of my my heart and soul into this league in terms of just showing up and trying to be an example, learning from past mistakes. But so the game plan for Daytona is I'm already kind of playing behind the 8 ball. I won't have any formal teammates out there, so I won't be in chat with anybody. I'm gonna have to kind of just learn on the fly when these guys are gonna pit and kind of just take advantage of anything that I can, and hopefully, racing clean as much as I have these last handful of weeks. I hope I've garnered a little bit of help from some of my competitors. Like today, I didn't want to door David or, run him too hard or whatever there coming out last corner. Because if I wall him, then it's just like that's one enemy that I have to deal with. And I don't want to have any enemies out there. And I know I'm good buddies with a lot of the people in this league, but I expect them to take a team first approach. So I'm just going to have to kind of piggyback. There's going to be one team out there at any given point that's going to feel like they have 5 drivers because I'm going to be on them. And hopefully I can survive everything. I actually hope Daytona goes fairly clean. These guys usually do pretty good at running clean at plate tracks. So the goal is just latch on, and hopefully at the end I can make a run and, put everything together. I mean, I'm hoping Chad Ragsdale's able to show up next week. That's someone that, he's said he'll show up and help if he can get his PC stuff fixed up, and that'll be it. It's just going to be giving it everything I got, leave it all out on the track, and see what happens after, 100 laps or whatever it is.
Absolutely. That's all you can virtually do here out there on the racetrack, especially with, as you said, no teammates, but trying to just make some friends here over the last couple of weeks, trying to make sure that you have some people that, might feel generous enough to help you out, give you those pushes or anything else late in this race, as it's so easy there at Daytona, just get left high and dry by a group of cars that they decide to all go to the high side and keep you trapped down low or something, and you slide back in a quick hurry there with no push and help there on your back bumper. So it's going to be interesting to see, how you're going to be able to navigate that, how you're going to be able to work through some traffic and find those teammates out there, find some help, some friends that'll help push you along throughout that race. But I know for certain it's going to be a pretty exciting one, a pretty crazy one, and if we see it kind of go clean and green like we did here at Pocono, where there was no caution flags for incidents out there on the speedway, having all 8 of you drivers left out there late in the race battling for that championship, it's absolutely going to be wild.
Yeah, I expect it to be an absolute dogfight to the very end, just like it was last season. And hopefully we can all keep it clean. I expect fuel to just be a huge issue next week. So leading laps isn't going to be the name of the game until whatever the last lap is, 88, 100, whatever they put it at. So the goal is to lead one lap, and it's the one that matters the most. We got to save fuel. We got to keep things clean, keep the fenders on the car, just all that. So it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see that dogfight happen next Sunday. But CJ, a great run and a great drive for you here this Sunday as you park that 19 right back up onto the podium here. Who'd you like to thank for another great run and great drive here this evening?
Just my friends and family who do tune in and watch. My mom and a couple buddies who take time out of their day to check out the Peacemaker Gaming broadcast. That's huge. I appreciate that a lot. The admins and yourself. Shenko Custom Diecast they've been a huge support in terms of just like, they've been pushing me to be better. So shout out to them. Colton Manich has been awesome these past few weeks. Just all the competitors. I mean, I've had a lot of really kind words in the last week. People are starting to, they're starting to. I don't want to say show the respect, but I feel like everybody's like, hey, you know what? This guy's good. He's nice. He does everything the right way. So I've gotten a lot of kind words. So all the competitors, thanks to them. And yeah, we're gonna go out there next week and hopefully tackle everything and come home a champion.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see how it all unfolds for you next Sunday. But CJ, great run here this evening, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, and hopefully be able to crown you as our champion there next Sunday at Daytona International Speedway, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. Have a good one.
Yes, absolutely. You as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, CJ Jeffries, as Jeffries comes home there in position number 2 here on the evening. We'll get ready to pull in our third and final finisher here, Corey Crowell. We'll get ready to pull Corey up and into the broadcast booth here to see what's going on in his mind, knowing that, he had to get some points. He had to make sure he had a good finish, and looks like maybe he might be able to make a good fight for making it into that championship 8. I'm not 100% sure on the point standings after this race. We'll have to wait and see how everything plays out, but we'll get Corey up here and see what his thoughts are here for his post-race interview. Hey, Corey, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I do, Aaron. How's it going?
Not too bad, brother. Corey, it's been a little while since we saw you up here, man, but no better time for it as you needed some points. You needed to try to lock yourself in here for the Championship 8 next week. Do you think you got in? Do you think you got enough points in the bag here to put yourself into contention to pick up the championship next Sunday?
Well, hopefully. Definitely needed this run. So glad it came now. I wish it would have came sooner, but I'll take it.
Absolutely, definitely a good run and definitely a good drive here for you as we saw you battling up there for quite a while here in this race, up inside the top 5 for a little while there. We saw you all right there, nose to tail together until those final, couple green flag pit stops. Things got a little bit more opened up. Things got a little bit more spread out with different pit strategies and everything. But late in the race, we were able to see you kind of run down Lance Brantlinger, get around him. That one extra point may be the difference here between, racing for fun next week or racing for the championship next Sunday.
Yeah, I seen Lance up there, and I was sitting P4, and I was like, I really wasn't even looking at points. I was like, man, I just want to go talk to Aaron. So I ain't talked to you much this season, so it's like I got to go get this spot.
Absolutely. Well, you were able to go up there. You were able to get on top of the wheel and park it up here on the podium. Brother, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great drive here this evening?
Yeah, first and foremost, you for putting on the broadcast, Outcast Racing League, and everybody that's involved in that for throwing on this league. Congrats to David for that one, and CJ. I know those two are battling pretty hard. But other than that's all I got.
Absolutely, brother. Well, man, it was a great run and a great race here for you as you park yourself up in third. And now it's just a waiting game, waiting for the points to finally get officially announced to see if you're going to be in that show for the championship next week. But knowing that, there's 8 drivers in there, and if you're one of them, you got 7 tough competitors that are going to be duking it out here for the championship. What's your game plan going into Daytona? If you're running for the championship, you got a lot of friends out there. If you've been making friends over the last couple weeks, some people that might help push you to a championship next Sunday.
Well, my team, I have my team last few weekends. They haven't been available. Hopefully they are available next week. I could definitely use them. But Daytona, man, I guess just stay clean. Hope that the other 7 competitors have bad luck on their end, and I don't.
Absolutely. That's all you can ask for. Well, hopefully we'll see it in that battle for the championship, and hopefully we'll see it right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better, and up in the winner's circle and picking up the championship next Sunday, Corey. Congrats on the great run, though, here this evening. Third place a drive here for you, and hopefully we'll see more of the same and a little bit better next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the third.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, our third place driver there, Corey Crowell. As Crowell coming home in that third spot. It was great to have him back up here in the broadcast booth. He needed a good run here this evening, and he may have gotten it. He may have gotten what he needed, but it's going to be tough. I think he was quite a few points back after a tough start last week, but I'm not sure where he's going to end up here, where he'll put himself in that championship race or not. We'll have to wait. I do believe the points will be posted in a little bit. We won't know here on the live stream exactly the points situation here for some of these drivers, but we will probably make a post letting you guys know who our championship 8 will be for next Sunday, and you guys don't want to miss that action. You guys don't want to miss that racing action next Sunday for our championship 8 here on Peacemaker Gaming in the Outcast Racing League. As unfortunately, that will do it for us here in this one. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, each and every one of you coming in, showing the love here with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you, any of the new followers or subscribers over on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you and welcome you to the Peacemaker family. But unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all back here tomorrow night. We'll be back live. We could go back to dirt track racing with the Monday Night All-Stars for a big dirt track street stock action on Monday evening. So I'll see you guys there, and hopefully I'll see you guys up here in the comment section cheering on some of those dirt track drivers tomorrow night. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.